holidays and welcome to this year's reading of The Night Before Christmas in Newfoundland. Story and art by Bob Youden, edited by Al Clouston. Dedicated to my family and to the good people of Newfoundland who enjoy their own special and unique brand of humor, in other words, Newfoundlanders. 'Twas the night afore Christmas down here in Newfoundland, and there was a hicin' big snowdrifts a-plenty on hand. With the kids all a-sleepin' upstairs in the loft, and mudder in the kitchen cookin' up a big scoff. Then I was cuttin' some splits for the stove, and mudder was bakin' some bread, just 4 loaves, with peas puddin' and cabbage, some spuds and corned beef. Just thinkin' about it, sure 'twill be a fine feast. Then down the dwarf there arose some big clatter. I thought that George Murphy fell off the flake ladder. I runs to the door like the clap of a bell, caught me toe in the rug, and be jumpins I fell. As I gawked in the garden and hout on the bay, by the cat got me tongue, I had nothing to say. I thought to myself, screech is all right, but a little too much will muck up your sight. As me eyes came accustomed to the wind and the snow, is this what it's like when your mind starts to go? I thought for the minute that me noggin come loose, but there was a punt pulled by 8 hardy moose, and a fat little skipper with a oar in his hand. He was scullin' the punt from the heist to the land. Then up to the garden the punt she fair came, and I heard the red skipper call each moose by name. Now move along, Brian, and John and Bill, get up there, Mulrooney, to the top of the hill. And then he hollered to the ones in the front, now Jerry and Neil, keep pulling this punt. To the top of the shed, and then onto the roofs, you could tell they was up there by the sound of the oofs. Then over the loft there rose such a clatter, and I thought what might happen if them moose was much fatter. I was feared for a second the shingles might peel from the scrapin' and scratchin' of the big punt's keel. Then down through the chimney the whole skipper he came, and of course it was Santa, to use his right name. Then out in the front room a black cloud arose, the suit looked like spume from a whale when she blows. He stood for a minute to size up the place, with black suit and hashes all over his face. I thought to myself, as I gawked at the man, what fine sealskin mittens he had on his hands, and glossy new gumboots to cover his feet. I couldn't imagine how he kept him so neat. He had a sou'wester whose colour was red, and this he had perched on the back of his head, with them fine oilskins like I never saw afore, that fitted too tight and reached to the floor. His face it was worn and weathered and wrinkled, but his eyes sparked blue eyes, still held till their twinkle. And now when I looked, I saw naught but his back, as he wrestled and juggled the gifts in his sack. Then to the mantel as he lifted the socks, apples and oranges and small toys in a box. He topped off each one for the girls and the boys, with a small back of bullseyes and small wooden toys. He looked so happy and jolly and fine, as he took a great gulp of dogberry wine. He tasted the fruitcake and then figgy duff, then he spoke to hisself, this sure is fine stuff. He tied up the sack with a big granny knot, then rested his hands on the top of his pot. Now to the chimney he went with a dash, as his eyes crossed the room with a flicker and flash. Now sure I must say that he cut a fine figure, as he slipped up the chimney like a bright squid jigger. He walked across the roof back to the front, and I feared he might slip as he got in the punt. The house gave a shake from the roof to the floor, as Santa took charge of the big scullin' whore. Then down through the garden and on to the bay, midst the clamour of oaths, I heard him say, "'Tis another year gone, God bless you and yours, may he grant you fair winds as you bend at the oars." A very merry Christmas to all youth.